Guys, Chris at Hard Knocks again. If I sound a bit shitty, it's because I'm a bit run down at the moment. I'm quite tired. I've done a fucking shitload of work recently. Today we're going to talk about pipe size. Not with roll cages, or tube size actually. It's in relevance to exhaust. So I see a lot of this on social media. People arguing about, oh, my exhaust needs to be fucking 6 inch because I make 5 horsepower, or my fucking 200 horsepower Golf needs a 4-inch exhaust. Fucking stop it, right? It's bollocks. Exhaust pipe sizing is very important, and it's important in 2 ways. Is your vehicle naturally aspirated, or is it turbocharged? So let's get the turbocharged thing cleared up. With a turbocharged car, the important thing is to get the exhaust gas out as fast as you can. Turbos do not care how fucking short your exhaust is, how long it is, how pretty it is, it just needs to get it out. If you run a factory turbo, chances are by doing this, you're going to lose seals. That's a fact. But if you use a motorsport turbo, a Precision, a Warner, a Garrett, anything like that, keep your exhaust as big as you physically can. There's a reason that the outlet of the turbo is normally 3 inches or bigger. Don't choke your fucking car down with a 2-inch system if you're trying to make 300 horsepower. It's not going to work. So this is 2 inch, okay? It's quite tiny, you know, not very big. 2.5 inch. This is the most common size we use for exhaust. Most small turbocharged vehicles, so diesels primarily, will use a 2.5 inch downpipe. Then we got to 3 inch. This is your big boy, and this is the majority of what I do has a 3 inch downpipe because the turbo outlet is 3 inch. Okay. Now, when you go into motorsport stuff, we're talking 3.5, 4, or 4.5. In fact, I've actually done an early Mustang with a 106mm precision turbo, and that motherfucker had a 4.5 inch downpipe. So my point stands that in a turbocharged application, you need your pipe as big as you can fucking get it to the flange that meets the turbo. Anybody that tells you that you need fucking back pressure or this, that, it's bollocks. I've been doing this shit for fucking 16 fucking years, and I know what works and what doesn't work when it comes to exhaust building. That's why I'm busy as fuck, because I know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm not the best at other shit, but I am telling you now with exhaust stuff, I know my fucking shit. Turbocharged applications, you need the air to get out as fast as you fucking can. That is it. Understood? Right. Now we're going to talk about naturally aspirated. That's where things get a little bit more complicated. I get a lot of customers come in and they say, I want to remove my rear box, but I don't want to lose back pressure. Back pressure is a myth, okay? If you talk to me about back pressure, I will instantly assume that you mean the pressure in the manifold prior to a turbo, because that is the only time we discuss back pressure. Naturally aspirated cars, or any 4-cylinder engine that is not forced induction, relies on cylinder scavenging. And cylinder scavenging is effectively the vacuum flow through the exhaust system, pulling the exhaust gases out of each cylinder port. It's not back pressure. When you talk about back pressure and you've removed a rear box, what you've actually done is slowed the gas speed down or sped it up, depending on what size it is. What this effectively changes is your cylinder scavenging. So the way that you affect scavenging is by vacuum, okay? And if you put let's say you've got a 2 litre NA motor, Honda, prime example. No, that's a really bad example because Hondas breathe heavy. Let's talk about a Mark IV Golf, 2 litre GTI, 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated. If you put a 3-inch system on there, it's going to be slow as fuck because you cannot build enough vacuum in the size of that tube to enable efficient cylinder scavenging. So let's get back pressure out of your heads. Back pressure applies to 2 strokes because of the way that they work, because they don't have valves. That's why they have the fucking huge chambers on the exhaust. And it applies to the pressure between a turbocharger and a manifold flange. So get back pressure out of your heads, okay? This is going to sound like I'm being really arsey, but I get told it every fucking day. Oh, but back pressure, fucking shut up about back pressure. If you do not, here's something I was taught by a world-class student a little while ago. If you do not understand a subject well enough to be able to explain it in simple terms, you don't know enough about that subject. I like to utilise that because I can explain this in simple terms. So, back pressure now out of the way, forget about it, you're not thinking about it. For more power in an NA application, you actually need the exhaust to suck the exhaust gases from the cylinder when the exhaust valve opens. And you do this by having pipe sizing relevant to your gas speed. Now obviously it varies what engine you've got. If you've got a fucking 10,000 RPM V10 versus a 2 litre fucking 4-banger, it's going to be very different. But the important thing is gas speed, the speed of the gas. Now, the hotter that gas is, the faster it's going to flow. The best description for this is a Formula 1 exhaust. They are staggered. So at the top, they might be 1 5/8, but as they come out and further down into the collector, they might actually end up at 1 1/2. There's a reason for that, because the further away from the engine that the exhaust gases get, the colder they get, so they slow down. So what you actually do is you shrink that pipe size down to keep the gas speed, which then enables your cylinder scavenging. You don't need huge fucking exhaust systems on little engines. It's not necessary, it's a waste of your time, it's a waste of your money, and any fabricator telling you that a 3-inch system on your Saxo VTR is a good idea is a fucking moron. Period. If you need to know something about an exhaust and your fabricator doesn't know, make sure they know how to ask people. Ask me. Fuck, you send me a message and say, what do you think? I'll give you a straight answer. I'm not going to lie to you and talk shit, because that affects me. So if you need to know something, just ask me, okay? The reason that I have so many different size pipes is, say, 2-inch. These would actually be used for a manifold on a big block Chevy, you know, talking 8.5 litres supercharged. You wouldn't use anything bigger than a 2-inch pipe on an NA or supercharged application. For a road-going vehicle, obviously drag stuff's a lot different. But for turbocharged applications, it's very different. So the point I'm trying to make is pipe size is very, very important. If you go too big on an NA car, you'll actually lose power. And if you go too small on a turbocharged car, chances are you're going to cook the turbo, because it will build so much pressure in the exhaust, it's just going to get so fucking hot and cook itself. That is why pipe sizes are important. Now, when you're talking about 500, 600, 700 horsepower plus, having a pipe that's 1/2 inch too small in diameter probably won't lose you that much power. But when you're looking at a highly strung 1.6, 16 valve 4-banger, like a VTR engine, or fucking, I don't know, any similar engine of that sort of size and power output, having that pipe work, even 1/4 inch wrong, could be the difference in 10 or 12 horsepower. Doesn't sound like a lot. However, if your car only makes 100 horsepower to start with, that's a lot of power to lose. So pay attention to what you're doing. And like I said, if your fabricator doesn't know, make sure they know how to ask. If you're doing it yourself and you need to know, ask me. Ask fucking any decent fabricator that knows what they're talking about. This stuff, or this video as well, is one of my educational videos about why we do things a certain way. So just to recap, turbocharged application as big as you can get it. That's not to say that if you've got a 2-inch outlet on your little tiny turbo that you need a 6-inch pipe, because that's fucking stupid. Be sensible with this. Don't take my words as literal, I need a 10-inch fucking exhaust pipe out of my bonnet. That's not what I'm saying. Turbocharged cars, you need to get the gas out as fast as you physically can. Naturally aspirated cars, you need to size your headers, because they're very important, to the size of your exhaust. So if you've got, let's take for an example, a 1.6 VTR engine, or a VTS 16 valve, you're going to want to be using an 1.25 or 1.5 header at max if it's got decent cams in it, and you're then going to only want to run a 2.5 inch sort of down pipe and then drop it down to 2.25. That's what's going to give you the most power, the most vacuum inside that system, and actually give you the benefit of cylinder scavenging. If you listened closely, you'd have heard me mention Hondas. Yeah, Hondas make me sick. Sorry. Honda engines are an oddball. We've done development with Honda for many years on what size pipe works best for a Honda. So in a 1.6 Honda engine, like VTI, you would think, okay, it needs a 2-inch system. No, we actually found that a 2 3/4 system on a Honda flows best. But there is a very good reason for this. The design of the cylinder head and the exhaust ports is so efficient that they breathe about 30% more than any other manufacturer's engine of that size. The K20 has found in like the EP3 Type R, or even worse. And then you need to run a 3-inch system and like 1 7/8 manifold for them to make the power that they need to. For instance, we're actually doing an Ariel Atom at some point this year. It's a Frankenstein Honda engine, so it's a K20A head, a 2.5 litre bottom end from maybe a Prelude, perhaps one of you guys can correct me on that, and it's supercharged. It makes 370 horsepower at the minute, but it's cooking the exhaust beyond all recognition. And at the moment it's only 1.5 inch headers, so we're actually going to go to 1 7/8, which is something we'd use on like a 6.4 Hemi, because the Honda engines breathe so efficiently, you actually need bigger pipe sizes than you would in any other situation. And this is what I'm talking about, where pipe size is very important, because you can't just guess it. You need to know a little bit of history about the engine, about what power you're looking for, whether the engine's standard, whether it's got cams in it, whether the head's been worked. All these little things add up to knowing what size pipe to use. If you're unsure, please ask. Like, it won't offend me. If someone else is building your system and they don't know and you need to ask me, that's fine. I've made the mistakes to get to here, and I've fucked shit up and lost horsepower and then gained loads of horsepower from very different people. Ask me. It saves you having to have your exhaust system made 3 times. Because I've had customers had that from other people. They've come to me and I've gone, what the fuck is this? It's all wrong. Just ask. This is what I mean in my business videos prior about helping people. Is it like, people say to me quite often, oh, are you not worried about telling people your settings, or what size pipe you use, or what wall thickness, or what filler? And I'm like, no, I can give you a step-by-step guide on how to do exactly everything that I do. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to copy me exactly, because I've been doing it for a long time. If you've only been doing it for 2 weeks, and I give you all these settings, it will help you, but you're not immediately going to be better than me, because that's not how it works. So this is why I don't worry about giving the information about pipe sizes, and about roll cage sizes and engine building and all the other shit that I give you. Is to help you. Like, it costs me money to do this. I actually have to pay my camera guy to film this for you guys to learn. And I hope that if you look at these videos, some of them you might think, man, that guy's a fucking dick. Okay, I promise you there ain't no motherfucker out there on this fucking planet that's giving you this kind of information without fucking charging you for it. So please listen to what I say, understand what I say, and if you don't understand it, drop a comment down below and I'll answer it. I will answer every single comment. Send me a message, I will answer it. I'll reply to every single one of you. If you're polite. If you're rude to me, you're going to get blocked. So don't do that. This is the non-starter. If you're rude to me or any of the people that work within this shop, you are blocked. Done. So just be polite. Ask a question. Hey, I've got this set up. What do you think I should use? And I will tell you. I don't care if you're not bringing the car to me to do it, but at least you can go to your fabricator and go, so-and-so, or Chris at Hard Knocks, or whoever, has said we need to use this size. And if your fabricator doesn't agree with it, chances are they aren't fully aware. Or, if they're an expert in that specific engine and they have prior experience with that specific setup, then you should probably listen to them. And if I haven't done something that specific, I'll tell you. I'll say, sorry, I don't know about that one, but I'll go and find out. I'll do the research and I'll phone people that do have the experience in this field. So yeah, that wraps up today's video, why pipe size is important. I think next time we'll go into the different grades and the materials for stainless that we use, and exhaust building, and why pipe layout is important, and how we build systems to get the maximum flow, whether it's turbocharged, naturally aspirated, or supercharged. So yeah, that's all. I hope this video was informative, and if I've come across like a bell end, I am a bit sorry, maybe, but it's for you guys to learn. And the only way that I find I can teach people is by telling them straight. That's it, motherfuckers. Have a good time.